Shalom and welcome again to one more shi'ur in our series, The Talmudic Sages, Ethics of the Fathers, on Pirkei Avot, when we stroll down the life of the Tanaim and the various Hu Haya Omer and their life story as it's been brought down in Pirkei Avot. Today I'd like to visit a Tana, a Mishnah. There's actually nothing of him that we can bring throughout Shas. And it makes our job a little more difficult because, as you know, the structure of the shi'ur usually is once we read the Mishnah, we scan through the Talmud, Bavli, Yerushalmi, the various Midrashim, and so on and so forth, to bring and collect and pile up a supporting evidence why the Hu Haya Omer actually is packaged inside this in this short Mishnah Rabbi Yehuda Nasi put for him in Pirkei Avot. So if we cannot find anything for Yehuda Ben Teima, which is our Tana for today, and it's actually nothing of him throughout Shas, it's going to make our job a little more difficult. But this is a challenge. We're not afraid of challenges. We should take it face on. And with that in mind, let's dive right away in and see how do we explain this Mishnah of Yehuda Ben Teima. It's in the 5th Perek. In the Sidurim you can find it on Mishnah Chaf, the 20th Mishnah. And we'll see how we can prove the Hu Haya Omer that he used to say is who he was, or he was what he used to say, often used to say. This is actually what packaged his life and his life story, in today's case, even his death. How is this manifest itself through this Pirkei Avot? And with this in mind, let's dive right away in and go straight to our Mishnah. Again, Perek Chamishi, the 5th Perek, Mishnah Chaf, the 20th Mishnah. We'll read it first in Hebrew and then translate it in English. Yehuda Ben Teima Omer, Hevei az כנמר וקל כנשר, רץ כצבי וגיבור כארי, לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים. Yehuda Ben Teima says the following: Be bold as a leopard, light as an eagle, swift as a deer, and mighty as a lion. For what? To perform the will of your Father in heaven. And then, all of a sudden, he adds one more thing. Hu Haya Omer, he used to say one more thing. Az panim legehinom, uvoshet panim legan eden. He used to say, the arrogant is headed for purgatory, to Gehinnom, but the self-effacing is headed for paradise. And then, all of a sudden, the Mishnah changed to a tefillah, a prayer that is very known to all of us. We say it a few times a day, in Shacharit, before we start davening, and then throughout the day, every time when we finish the Shmona Esrei, the Amidah, we say that again. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, Hashem Elokeinu ve'Elokei Avoteinu, sheyibane Beit HaMikdash bimhera biyameinu, v'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha. In English, may it be your will, God, our God, and God of our fathers, that the holy temple be rebuilt speedily in our days, and grant us our portion in your Torah. So this is the Mishnah of Yehuda Ben Teima. And I think that right away, a whole bunch of questions just rises up in front of us, begging for answers. Who is Rabbi Yehuda Ben Teima? Is this his real name? Maybe it's a cover for another name? Because I don't find anything else in his name. And it's kind of rare that he will be in Pirkei Avot, but there's absolutely nothing else of him anywhere to find. So who's Rabbi Yehuda Ben Teima? Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Teima. What is the word Teima? I'm just lining up the questions. We will answer them throughout the shi'ur one by one. Where is the Hu Haya Omer packaged in this Mishnah? If I know nothing of him, then how can I prove that Hu Haya Omer, that be bold as a leopard and strong as a lion, swift as a deer and light as an eagle? Where is this in his life meeting? In what junction? One more question, what's all these animals here? What's this, excuse the expression, what's this safari going on in this Mishnah? Another thing, if he asks me in the beginning of the Mishnah to be bold as a leopard, and in Hebrew he says, az kanamer, as he says, heve az kanamer. Why is he saying later, az panim legeinom, that if you are arrogant, then you're destined to purgatory, to geinom? So what do you want from me? Do you want me to be az? Or if you tell me that if I'll be az, this is an admission ticket to geinom. So what is this you want from me? Another question. He says, be light as an eagle. Last time I checked, he's one of the heaviest birds around. So what is he asking me to be light as an eagle? Kal kaneshem? Is he light? He asks me to run fast as a deer. Those who watch nature films, and I'm one of them, can attest and tell you that there are some animals who runs even faster. The cheetah runs faster. I believe it's the fastest animal on earth. So why is he asking me to be fast as a deer? Maybe in order for me to fulfill Retzon Avicha Shebashamayim, in order for me to fulfill the will of my Father in heaven, maybe I should run as fast as a cheetah. Why is he using deer? Gibor Kari, strong as a lion. What's the special strength of a lion? I know it's the king of all animals, but still, what is the special strength of the lion? And then, one more question. What's this davening that all of a sudden got into this Mishnah? יהי רצון מלפניך השם אלוקינו ואלוקי אבותינו שיבנה בית המקדש במהרה בימינו ותן חלקנו בתורתך. Okay, first of all, why בכלל davening all of a sudden into this Mishnah? You're about to say Mishnah. There's something you want to teach us. So what's the davening coming to do with this? And if you want to put davening, why don't you put inside Ezrat Avotenu? Why don't you put inside Az Yashir Moshe? Why is this all of a sudden? What's the kesher? What's the connection, the correlation between this Mishnah and this tefillah that you have brought down in here? As I said before, can't find anything from him, from Yehuda Ben Teima, throughout the Shas. But this is not shvu in regards to Shulchan Aruch. The entire Shulchan Aruch, the Sefer, the book, Jewish code of law, opens up with him. Yehuda Ben Teima Omer, Heve Az Kanamer, קל כנשר, רץ כצבי, גיבור כארי, לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים, ואל יבוש מפני המלגים עליו. One should not be ashamed from those who make fun of him. The entire Shulchan Aruch starts with these words. Must have been a very important Mishnah if the Sefer, the book that tells us how to live our daily life and every aspect of our life starts off with this Mishnah and with this man Yehuda Ben Teima, then he must be very important. So who is he? One more thing, as I explained before, Yehuda Ben Teima. The word Teima in Aramaic means to say. Those of you who learn Gemara, Talmud, are very familiar with the expression I Teima Hachi, Ve'i Teima Hachi. If you'll tell me this, or if you'll tell me that. There's also I Bait Eima. Eima means what I say. If I say this or I say that. So Yehuda Ben Teima, Yehuda the son of Teima, Amira, saying, he's saying this and this and this and that. So what's he saying? What's his Teima? One more thing that you should pay attention, he says, Hevei az kanamer. Hevei, the literate meaning of the word means be, remain at that state, and become it again and again and again and again. In other words, if you can use a technological expression from our daily life, Yehuda Ben Teima says, I need you to take those characteristics, tchunot, of the leopard, of the eagle, of the deer, the lion, and I need you to press again and again and again the refresh button, the restart. Every day, maybe every hour, I want you to do Hevei. Do it again and again and again. Okay. It's not easy. It's a very tedious and hard work. Every day you want me to become those animals again in my Avodat Hashem? How can you demand of me such a thing? This other thing, he says in continuation of the Mishnah, Az panim legehinom, the arrogant, the brazen, he's destined to purgatory, to Gehinom. There are other people, it says, as we know in Pirkei Avot, those who are yordim legehinom, they go down to purgatory. But from what comes out of his Mishnah is the fact that if you az panim, this is a one-way ticket to Gehinom. You know you're going to end up in there. Obviously, it's a tchuna, it's a trait, very, very undesired and unwanted tchuna, azut panim. So if azut panim is a ticket to Gehinom, why are you asking me to be az panim like the leopard? Why is this? Another question, why is this tefillah? ויהי רצון מלפניך השם אלוקינו ואלוקי אבותינו שיבנה בית המקדש במהרה בימינו ותן חלקנו בתורתך have turned to be the concluding stamp of every tefillah that we say every day. And even with this tefillah, what is the connection between שיבנה בית המקדש במהרה בימינו, a wonderful thing, to ותן חלקנו בתורתך? What's wrong with תן חלקנו בתורתך today? Yesterday, last week? What is the connection between שיבנה בית המקדש to ותן חלקנו בתורתך? Back to the safari, so to speak, he asks me to be bold as a leopard. It is known fact that Adam Arishon, Adam, he is the one who gave names to all the animals. For example, Kelev, a dog, when he gave the names, and the name in Lashon HaKodesh, the name, as we say sometimes, what's in the name? The name comes to indicate the nature and the uniqueness of that particular animal. Kelev, a dog, as we know it in English, is man's best friend. Is all heart. Kelev, kulo lev, is all heart. As you can see sometimes, When the owner of a dog comes back from somewhere after he didn't see him for long, he jumps all over him in an unconditional love and happiness. Kelev, kulo lev. There's an animal, one at least that I know, pretty domestic animal, that the name of it indicate azut. Ez. Ez, in English, goat. Goat, as we know, is not a dangerous animal, it's not a predator, but at the same time she's much more chutzpahdik than the lamb or the little sheep that is next to her. Put a goat, next to a sheep and see the difference. When she's upset, she pushes everybody around her. And when she's upset, she's very loud and she's azat panim, chutzpahdik. So why can't, maybe for the sake of the Mishnah, let's deal with kosher animals. Maybe for the Mishnah, he should ask me, Yehuda Ben Teima, Hevei az ka'ez. I want you to be chutzpahdik in Avodat Hashem, like the ez, the goat. Why is he asking me to be a leopard? What's wrong with crocodile? He's also very chutzpahdik. A snake, he jumps, he attacks without any notice. What's so special about the leopard? What is the special characteristics of this animal that because of that he asks me to become as Kanamer, like a leopard, but at the same time he lets me know that if somebody is az and has azut panim, he's destined to gain them. Well, in that case, let's identify who is the leopard, the namer in Hebrew. By the way, namer also, as I said, what's in the name? Namer in Hebrew, when you want to say about something that is dotted, has a lot of dots on it, you say menumar. If you have, let's say, a coat that looks like a tiger from the outside, you say me'il menumar, a dotted coat. So namer, at least the root of the word is menumar, dotted with many, many dots. And it's important to remember, as you're going to see in the progression of the shiur. Rabbi Yehuda Ben Teima, the main commentator on the Mishnayot, one of the Rishonim, lived around 900 years ago in the city of Bartenura in Italy. Rabbi Yehuda feels the need and the urge to explain to us who is this namer and the leopard and what's his yichus, where he's coming from. And he says the following: Az kanamer, says right away the Rabbi Yehuda Ben Teima, hanamer hazeh, and I'm reading from inside Rabbi Yehuda Ben Teima. Sounds a little strange, but this is Torah. Hanamer hazeh, this leopard, nolad, he was born min chazir hayar va'levi'ah. He is a crossbreed and a byproduct from a relationship, an intimate relationship between Chazir Hayar, the boar, the wild pig, Ve'halevi'ah, the lioness. Ki, because, Be'et Yachem Ha'arayot, when the lioness, he's very horny, when she's in a state of illustration, Machneset Rosha Besivchei Hayar, she stick her head in the bushes of the forest. Venohemet, she roars and growls. Vetovat et hazachar, she demand the male to come over to her, her husband, the lion, the king of all animals. Vehachazir, says Rabbeinu Yehuda Ben Teima, the boar, the pig, שומע קולה, he hears those noises from the lioness, and he comes behind her, ורובעה, and he becomes one with her, in an intimate relationship, ונמר יוצא מבין שניהם. And the result of this relationship is a leopard. This is what comes out later. Well, I can see the zoologist amongst you opening up your eyes and saying, what is he talking about? Where does he come up with this stuff? Well, I'm saying again, I'm reading from Rabbeinu Ovadia Bar Tenura, who lived 900 years ago, and this is his explanation where the Namer is coming from. And he's continuing in his explanation. Ulefi, and therefore, shehu mamzer, since he's a mamzer, as we say, he's a crossbreed between an inappropriate, intimate relationship, a crossbreed between two different species, the boar, the chazir, the pig, and the lioness, hu az panim. Therefore, he's a brazen, az panim chutzpadik. Af al pi she'ein bo gevura kol kach, even though he's not that strong, they are stronger animal than the lion, than the namer, than the leopard. Says the Rabbeinu Ovadia Bar Tenura, af ata, you too, the one who learns this Mishnah, hevei az, be brazen, v'lo titbayesh lish'ol mirabcha. Do not be embarrassed to ask from your Rebbe, from your teacher, ma shelo hevanta. If you did not understand, if you did not understand what your Rebbe says, do not be afraid and embarrassed to ask, but rather go and ask. Ki oto sheshaninu lo habayshan lamed. Fascinating explanation about the yichus of the namer, who is he and where this creature came from and what he's all about. And where is the lion, the husband, at that time? When she's in a state of demand, in a time of illustration, she pushes her head into the bushes of the forest, growls, roars, and demand passion, connection, intimacy with her husband, the king himself. Where is he? Why he's not coming, responding to this demand? But as both of you, all of you probably know, most of the times of the day, at least, the lion is sleeping. He's asleep. He's not responding to those calls from his wife. And why is he sleeping? We learned before that you should be gibor kari, strong as a lion. What kind of lion? A lion is sleeping most of the 24 hours. This is what it's all about. Those of you who watch the nature film sees that most of the day, especially when it gets a little hotter, he's the laziest of them all, sitting there doing nothing. At night, when it gets cooler, he goes out to hunt. He becomes a predator again. But other than that, he's pretty lazy. So why is the Tana Yehuda Ben Teima asks me to be gibor kari, strong as a lion? To what? That I should be sleeping 20 hours out of the 24? This is his idea of gevura? And I think the explanation goes as follows. The levi'ah, the lioness, is a true queen, a princess, a bat melech, the daughter of a real king, and her natural state of desire, and what she really, really, really wants is to be with the king himself and no other. She's, as we explain in Chassidut, matronita, the most important of them all, from all the other animals. As we said, her natural state is to be with the king. But at the same time, the king is asleep. His head is turned the other way, and he's sleep in a deep, deep, long-lasting sleep. And that leads us right away into the famous pasuk. Ura lama tishan Hashem, hakitza al tiznach lanetzach. Pasuk in Tehillim. Awake, why are you sleeping, O Lord? Arouse yourself. Cast not off forever. Al tiznach lanetzach. Why are you sleeping and don't watch over us, your children? Says David HaMelech in Tehillim. Ura Hashem, lama tishan. Another pasuk that comes to mind. Vayikatz keyashen Hashem kegibor mitronen miyayin. Then the Lord awaked as one asleep, one who's asleep, like a mighty man recovering from wine. So as you can see, there are various expressions throughout the ketuvim, through the writings, Tehillim, also in Megillat Esther. Balayla ahu nadeda shnat hamelech, the king of the universe, he couldn't sleep. That means the king sometimes is asleep. Knesset Israel, the Shekhinah, Am Yisrael itself, the Bat Melech, is yearning for a connection, for intimacy with the Aryeh, with the king himself. But he's asleep. And that particular night in Purim, as we say, Balayla hu nadeda shnat hamelech, he couldn't sleep. But it's been 2,000 years that the king is asleep, so to speak. There is a hester panim, a concealment of the face. He's, so to speak, asleep. And we don't know where is he. In other words, Knesset Israel, the lion, the matronita, the malchut, is begging and yearning for connection, for intimacy with the king, but he's asleep. He's not responding to those roaring of Am Yisrael. As if he unable to hear the yearning of the Leviah, of the Knesset Israel, the Malchut, to be connected with him. And there, in the Yar, in the forest, roams around the Chazir, the boar, the pig. And he hears those sounds. And he decides to take an action. Who is this Chazir? The boar, the wild pig. Right away another pasuk from Tehillim comes. Yecharsemena Chazir miyar veziz sadai yorena. The boar out of the woods ravage it. Says David HaMelech in Tehillim. He roams around the forest. He hears those sounds of yearning from the Leviah, and he decides to respond, because if the Aryeh is asleep, he says to himself, this is my chance. And in Avot de Rabbi Natan, Pirkei Avot de Rabbi Natan, in the 34th chapter, it says over there, Harei hu omer, Yecharsemena Chazir miyar, the boar of the forest ravages it, Yecharsemena Chazir miyar zu malchut Romi. This is Romi itself, Christianity as we know it today. And he explains שבזמן שישראל עושים רצונו של מקום, when Am Yisrael do not do the will of God, לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים, then אומות העולם, the other nations of the world, דומות עליהם כחזיר מיער. They become like that boar, the wild pig from the forest. מחזיר מיער הורג נפשות, just like that pig from the forest. He kills ומזיק את הבהמות, and he hurts, he's a predator to other animals, ומלכה בני אדם, and he can attack humans as well. כך כל זמן שאין ישראל עושים רצונו של מקום, as long as they don't do the will of God, הורגים בהן ומלקין ומזיקין אותם. Then these chazirim, those pigs, the wild animals of the forest, the boars, umot haolam, the goyim, have the chance to kill, hurt, and damage the Jewish people. But when they do, Am Yisrael, Ritzono Shel Makom, then they cannot. This is Avod de Rabbi Natan. And as you can see, we're very busy with animals today. And just like we explore the nature of the leopard, let's see for a minute, at least for a short time, who's the chazir, that pig, that boar, that wild pig who come from the forest and who decide to seize the opportunity that the lion is asleep, and he comes behind the lioness and become one with her. Chazir, the pig, maybe it's not so pleasant to admit, but it's pretty much similar, at least in a physical sense. His digestive system, at least, as we know from Chazal, and the modern science admit that too, very similar to a human. Today, when they want to learn about the digestive system of humans, they practice on pigs. V'damiyan me'ei livnei enasha. In Aramaic, and in explanation to English, their digestive system, their intestines, are very, very similar to the digestive system of humans. And once you overcome the upsetting comparison between us humans and the chazirim, the pigs, you actually realize that the chazir itself is a semel, the symbol of the sitra achra. Today, when we want to say chazir, a pig, some people call it pork, at least in Lashon HaKodesh we call it davar acher, that something else. We don't even say the word pig. In Lashon HaKodesh, this guy, Chas v'Shalom, he's eating davar acher. He's eating that something else. The sitra achra, the other side as we know it, Satan, the forces of impurity are called the sitra achra. Throughout Zohar and many other places. In the Kabbalistic world, in the Kabbalah, the tum'ah, the impurity is called the sitra achra, the other side, the opposite side of kedusha, of purity. And this is what symbolizes Rome. Rome, Christianity, is the sitra achra, the davar acher, as we know it. One more characteristics that is unique to the chazir, to the animal, to this particular animal. We know that most animals have their one particular favorite designated food. You're not going to find a lion feasting on cucumbers and peppers. He's not vegetarian, he wants meat. There's something called dog food, and you're probably not going to find a dog having a feast with your soup croutons. These things that a dog like. But chazir eats everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything with everything. Who, as we say in Hebrew, hu chai bazevel. He lives in the garbage, including his own feces. And he'll eat that too. As opposed to other animals who know what's good for them and they will eat only that and nothing else. For the chazir, everything is good. Everything is edible. And as I said before, everything with everything, including everything. One more trait that is unique to him, He likes to sit always with his claws up front, displaying the fact that he's mafris parsa, that it's split, his claws are split, which is one of the required simanim of tahara, as he's saying all the time, maybe I live in the garbage, in the zevel, I eat everything, including the feces, but check it out, tahorani, I am pure, I am kosher. While he is the symbol of the most unkosher, impurity. Every time you want to say about someone, he's so far from Yiddishkeit that he already is eating a pig, even that too. Someone who wants to say, maybe I'm not Shomer Shabbat, maybe I don't keep kosher, but you'll never find me eating pig. A pork? Oh, never. That means that a pig, is the symbol of non-kosher, impurity, the sitra achra at its best. Rav Kook, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, who used to be the chief rabbi of Israel many years ago, speaks in one of his Sfarim about Christianity, that I constantly throughout the years do that, displaying their claws, trying to say that they are kosher, merciful, dat rechuma, a religion of mercy, while at the same time crusading throughout the years, and as we know, throughout medieval ages, bathing in Jewish blood. While they claim to be the kosher of them all, they are actually slay Jewish people on right and left, bathing in their blood. And this chazir, this particular animal, he's not stupid at all. Chazir, if you look on the shorish, the roots of the word, chazir comes from the word chazar, return, will return. Chazal say, our sages teaches us that one day the chazir will come back to tahara. And as we know in Chassidut, כל הגבוה גבוה ביותר נופל למטה מטה ביותר. The lowest you fell, that means you came from your origination point, is actually the highest of them all. And one day, in the time of Bet HaMikdash, when Mashiach comes back, Hashem will restore the purity of the chazir. But until then, he's the symbol of non-kosher, unable to be eaten and preferably not even touched. And he knows that he is a prisoner of the current circumstances, even if he wants to, and he does, by the way, want to become kosher again, because even the Sitra Achra wants to nurture from the highest of them all, from the Holy of Holiness. But for now, due to the circumstances, he is a prisoner in the cage of impurity. But he decides to take on the opportunity that he finds. And when he hears the roaring of the lioness of the Bat Melech of the Knesset Israel, yearning, demanding with tremendous passion to become one with the king, with the lion himself, with the Aryeh, he decides, you know what, here is my chance. The lion is asleep. Turn his face the other way, so to speak. And that's my chance to come and become one with Am Yisrael and stick my claws into them. So he become a Mesiras Nefesh, so to speak. He risks his life. He come close behind the lioness when she is in a state of illustration, a very dangerous state. He risks his life for two reasons. A, because what if she turns back and find out that it's not the lion behind her? You don't want to mess around with that powerful, majestic animal at that time, and he risks his life for it. And also statistically, who knows, maybe the lion will wake up all of a sudden in the middle and find out that someone else is there instead of him. But the Chazir knows it all, and he decides, despite it all, to take, as you say, notel nafsho bechapo, to put his life in his own hands and try it anyway. Because it's worth it after all. He knows that if he will become one with the lioness, with the king, with the wife of the king itself, there is something there for him. So he decided to try. And as we know from the famous story, when Yerushalayim collapsed, the first sign of giving under the continuous long siege around Yerushalayim is when the Chazir, the pig that has been put in the basket, instead of the daily offering that they used to send behind the wall of Yerushalayim, and that Chazir have stuck his claws into the wall of Chomav Yerushalayim. It says, Nizdaza'a Yerushalayim, tak parsa al tak parsa, 500 parsa, the entire city of Yerushalayim shook when that symbol of impurity stuck his claws in the walls of Yerushalayim. We're talking about an actual Chazir who actually climbed up with a basket on the walls of Yerushalayim in the time of the Roman siege around this city. But metaphorically speaking, this was the day Yerushalayim actually was declared conquered. The nitzachon, the victory of this Chazir, Rome, Christianity, is the idea that he wants to put on top of Beit HaMikdash a huge eagle declaring his victory. I've conquered Har HaBayit, and it's in my hands right now, in the hands of Christianity. And there to declare that maybe you don't even have to destroy the Beit HaMikdash, you can leave it on. But at the same time, everything is edible, including the worst and the most smelly garbage. Hakol achil, as they say in Hebrew. The Chazir says, there is no one particular food. Everything with anything, and I don't care how it looks, how it smells. If it's the worst of them all, the most impure form of entertainment, bring it on. That too. You can consume that too. Everything is okay. And I don't have to go into details to explain what are we talking about in today's modern world. Everything that is out there is kosher. Any type of marriage is acceptable. Any type of union is okay. The Chazir says, I'm in the garbage. I'm in the garbage up to my nose or up to my eyeballs. But check it out. Tahorani. I'm pure. Everything is okay. Everything is edible. Everything is fine. And let's understand for a minute the powerfulness of this Chazir, of the wild boar that is roaming the forest over there, listening and paying attention to the roaring of the levi'ah of the lioness. He's yearning for the lioness itself. Anything less than that is not good for him. Why? Doesn't have enough his own kind females down there at the garbage, at this pool of feces that he likes to sit inside? Don't you have enough of your own kind in there that you can mate with? Why are you yearning dafka for the Levi'ah? Why you want dafka her? Because he too, the Chazir, as low as he is, stupid he's not. And he too knows who the Levi'ah he really is. And he knows that she's a true queen, a true Bat Melech, a real princess. And he says, nothing less than that I will settle for. And this is who I want to be with. And for this, he says, I'm willing to risk my life, even though I'm coming to her when she's a dangerous state of mind. If she'll turn her head backwards and find who's behind her, this might be the last act of my life on this face of the earth. But I'll take the chance. I'm willing to risk my life for it because it's so important for me to become one with the queen itself. Because the Sitra Achra itself knows that at the peak of its power, still he too wants to nurture and nourish from Sitrat de Kedusha, from the holy side of things. Because he knows where the real gems and where the real diamonds are. So he too wants to nurture from them. And he knows and remembers that from this relationship between him, the Chazir, and the Levi'ah from the lioness, will come out eventually a true Ben Melech, a true prince, that is maybe 50% pig, Chazir, but he is, as we say, Mihu Yehudi, who is a real Jew, someone whose mother is a Jew. And the mother of the leopard is a queen, a real princess, the Shekhinah itself. So maybe 50% of his DNA is a Chazir. Nevertheless, he's a creature, possess the strength of his mother, and he's completely namer, leopard, menumar, dared, with avanim tovot umargaliot, many beautiful dots, or if you want certain nemerim, depends in which region of the world, have rings, necklaces around them, brown and black, and it's a beautiful creature to look at. Very majestic animal, a pack of muscles, and he's azpanim. Do you know why? He knows that he's 50% pig, but the other 50%, and this is the main thing, his mother, who he really is a true Levi'ah, a lioness, a princess, a queen. And this is what really matters. And this is what Yehuda Ben Teima comes to say. Al yevosh mipnei hamaligim alav, I need you to not be embarrassed from those who make fun of you in Avodat Hashem. Because when a person remembers and he knows what people tell you, what are you busy with? The bistahazar, you are a pig. Don't let this get into you. Remember and gedenk. Remember all the time. Perhaps maybe some of your DNA is a piggy DNA, but you are a true Ben Melech, a son of a king. And this is what the Kadosh Baruch Hu, what God wants. לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים. God wants a Yehudi that inside of him there is some pigginess, ta'avot, and desired, despicable desires for the lowest things. But from him, Hashem wants true avodat Hashem. He says, I want you to concentrate on the fact that you are a ben melech, a son of a king, and forget that side of pigginess, the chazir, the chazirut that is inside you. Malachim, angels, I have plenty, says God. And they don't have any distractions. They don't have any animalistic, low, despicable desires. Malachim don't have to fight any ta'avot that we humans face. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Malachim, I got plenty. What I want is avodat Hashem from you, my son. לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים. You, my son, who possess some characteristic of a pig, do what I want because you are a true ben melech. ואל יבוש מפני המלעיגים עליו. And if you encounter some those who say to you, after all, 50% of you is a pig, don't pay attention. Says the Shulchan Aruch, this is how you open up your daily life. יהודה בן תימה אומר, הווה יעז כנמר, קל כנשר, רץ כצבי וגיבור כארי לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים, ואל יבוש מפני המלעיגים עליו, and do not be embarrassed from those who make fun of you. And as we say in Tanya, מה יעשה בן המלך ולא יחטא. The Ben Melech, the prince, he's right there at the side of the worst ta'avot, the most despicable desires available are there to you today in the modern world. And how can you resist those desires and ta'avot? Ma yaseh ben hamelech, what should he do, the prince, velo yechta, and he should not sin? Al yevosh mipnei hamalagim alav. He has to remember that he's a true ben melech. And it doesn't matter if he's wrapped up with smartutim, he looks like a homeless, but inside, under all those layers, he's a true ben melech. And the chazir, as we said before, stupid he is not. He knows how to identify and to hear the sounds of these yearnings of the Levi'ah to become one with the king, of the Ben Melech of Am Yisrael to become one, La'asot Ratzon Avicha, as the Yehudi arises in the morning, a prince in the service of the king, and he hears those yearnings, and he decides to surprise you from the back. Come and decide to become one with you. And he decides to take and seize the opportunity, even if it's risking his life, even if it means that he might die in the process. And the result of it is a mamzer. And mamzer sounds very bad. The word, the connotation of it sounds very bad. When you want to curse somebody, you say he's a mamzer. But Chazal themselves says in Mishnah Masechet Horayot, in Perek Gimel Mishnah Chet, mamzer v'talmid chacham, if someone is a mamzer, a result of a intimate relationship between a man and a married woman, which is the peak of impurity, and what came out of it is a mamzer. you're not even allowed to marry a mamzer. But if it's a mamzer and a talmid chacham, someone who was able to become talmid chacham despite the fact that he's a mamzer, and on the other side you have a kohen gadol, which is the peak, the symbol of purity and holy of holiness, but he's a complete am haaretz and know nothing about Torah and is ignorant, that the mamzer talmid chacham kodem, he's more important, says Chazal in the Mishnah. And this is actually the kavanah of the Mishnah to tell us. If someone is the mamzer, the totzar, the byproduct of a relationship between the most impurity meeting each other, a person with eshet ish, and mamzer came out of it, but despite of it all, this man have taken himself and channeled his kochot, his powers, to become a talmid chacham and take the Torah and lighten up the world. He comes before, and he's most important, even before Kohen Gadol, the chief priest that knows nothing about Torah. He, the mamzer, comes before Kohen Gadol. He takes his chazirut, his DNA, who he came from, which is a very embarrassing and disadvantaged starting point to start off with, and very poor circumstances to open up the competition, so to speak. And despite of it all, he became a talmid chacham. And this is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Al yevosh mipnei hamaligim alav. Take this chazirut, this pigginess that is inside you, the desire and the yearning for the impurity, for the despicable desires, and most animalistic and low ta'avot that you have. Channel them towards learning Torah. There I want you to become azbanim. Your chutzpah is the most precious thing to me. I need you to look straight in the face of those who make fun of you and telling you that you are 50% pig, and say to them, guess what? I am a true ben melech. I am a true son of a king, a prince in the service of the king itself. And nonetheless, I will take the pigginess and harness that too towards tzad yamin, sitra de kedusha. And there where I'm going to manifest the true side of me, of who I really am, the son of the Leviah, of the lioness. I am mizera melachim, I'm coming from kings and a dynasty of kings. And this is what really dominates who I am on a daily basis. Another characteristics of the Nameris, we said before that you can be maybe a ez, a goat, and we know that she can be pretty chutzpahdik. But the truth is, what is she asking for? For her little square 4x4, 5x5 of vegetables, and no one should go in there. No one should actually enter her little territory and touch her vegetables. That's all she wants. Other than that, she's quiet. The Namer, on the other hand, that Yehuda Ben Teima asks me to be like him. He, when he zero on a teref, an animal that he wants to take on and kill, he won't let go. And when he finally catches us on and put his claws into, he will take with his jaws and bite and stop and choke the air pass of that particular animal and won't let go until that thing will fall down, ready for him to eat, for his next meal. And this is what Yehuda Ben Teima asks you. Heve'az kanamer. Every day, those mal'agin, those who make fun of you, who mock you and say to you that you are a pig, will come and say to you again and again and again, you are 50% pig. What business do you have with the Melech? I need you, says Yehuda Ben Teima, to hevei, every day or maybe perhaps every hour, as needed. Press that refresh button. Press that restart button and hevei. Be it again and again and again as needed, as it says sometimes on a medicine. Take it, prescribe as needed. Every time remember that you are a Chvunamer. And when you see the Retzon Avicha Shebashamayim, lock your GPS on it, destination set, run after it, catch it, choke and bite on it, and don't let opportunity of mitzvah slip away from your clothes. Don't let it run away. Kal kanesher, and now he says, I need you to be light as an eagle. As we say before, this whole safari thing, last time I checked, the nesher, the eagle, is one of the heaviest animals. Why is he saying to be kal kanesher, fly? Even when he flies, it seems to be, it's a very majestic thing to look at. And I can use many other terms. Kal, light is not one of them. So why is he asking me to be kal kanesher, light as an eagle? But again, when the nesher, when the eagle, the king of all birds, when he identifies far away, when he detects a dead animal, when he detects and sees from 30, 40 miles away, he has the best vision of them all. When he identifies a carcass, a pegger, a dead animal somewhere, he locks up on it and he will fly from the highest point available to that cliff or desert or wherever he sees that pegger to come and take it. And once he locks up and set that destination in his GPS, nothing will distract him on the way. It is more than possible that in this 20, 30 or 40 miles that he now cruises to get that dead animal he saw, there are plenty of other dead animals on the way. But he won't stop and won't let anything distract him in the middle of the way, because on his GPS, as we said, destination has been set and defined. And there is no distractions in the way, and therefore he will not stop at any other place and do what you call recalculating route. You know that when you use today a GPS, a lot of times if you made a mistake or got distracted in the middle of the way and you went on the way to get yourself a coffee maybe in a nearby gas station or a 7-Eleven, as soon as you hit the road again, you hear the voice, recalculating destination. Not by the nesher. He's not stopping for coffee or snack in any other place. Once he saw what he saw, it's a straight path, and nothing will stop him from getting there. This is what Yehuda Ben Teima says. Kal kanesher, I need you to run straight there, and don't let anything stop you in the way. I think there is a deeper meaning to this Mishnah when he says, לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים. There is פשוטו של מקרא, לעשות רצון אביך, to do the will of your Father in heaven. Yes, to give tzedakah, to put on tefillin, to light up Shabbat candles, to observe Shabbat appropriately, and so on and so forth. But I think it goes deeper than that, and perhaps this is the real מהפכה, the real revolution of this Mishnah. לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים is the question that rises and begs for an answer. You, the son of the king, can come and say, Abba, Father in heaven, you know that I am a mamzer. I'm half pig. 50% of me is pigginess. Why is it that this is your ratzon? Why is it, Abba? Why is it that this is your will, Father in heaven, that I will have to do for you all these mitzvot? Don't you know that I am half pig, chatzi mamzer? Why is it that you amasses and piled up on my way so many difficulties, so many obstacles, so many ta'avot and desires on my way to fulfill your will, Father in heaven? You know who I am, and no one better than you knows what I am composed of. So why are you making it so difficult for me with placing all those desires along the route for me? Even from your angels you don't demand such tedious, hard work, Sisyphean work on a daily basis to become heve and heve and heve and heve again and again, and sometimes many times throughout the day. As they say in Yiddish, was willst du von meinem Leben? מה אתה רוצה מהחיים שלי? What do you want from my life? Why have you made it, Father in heaven? Why is your ratzon, why is your will that it's going to be so difficult for me? But the answer is, because this is רצון אביך שבשמיים. נתאווה לו הקדוש ברוך הוא להיות לו דירה בתחתונים. הקדוש ברוך הוא God desired to dwell and to have a place, a dwelling place for him down here, dafka here in this world, in this safari full of predators and animals and pigs. And here, this is what he wants you, half pig, a mamzer, to take your kochot, stand there in front of the worst desires and animalistic ta'avot that are out there. And I want you to remember, says God, this is my ratzon, your Father in heaven. I want you to remember what is my real ratzon. And quite frankly, even the ratzon, as is explained in the Chassidut, the Yetzer Hara itself, the pig, the Sitra Achra itself, deep inside wants you to actually velo yecheta, wants you to win. Even though he's going to lose the Sitra Achra, he too wants to nurture from Kedusha, and he wants you to win the war and actually not to sin. Mayaseh ben HaMelech velo yecheta. Back to our safari here. Yehuda Ben Teima says, Ratz katzvi, I need you to run fast as a deer. The cheetah, as we said, runs even faster. But there's a very unique trait to the tzvi, to the deer. First of all, he runs away from where? From the leopard who wants to kill him, from the lion who runs behind him, from the lioness who wants to have him for lunch for her cubs. There is a milchama, a war that is going on in here. And God says to you, yes, there is a daily milchama in your life. And Yehuda Ben Teima says, I want you to run fast. But what else is unique about the tzvi? When he runs away from those predators, his head turns backwards to make sure that they don't close the distance between him and them. He runs to make sure that no one jumps on his back. And you, the Jew, as you run fast as a deer, swift as a deer, לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים, your head has to turn backwards to make sure that not all types of trampistim, it's called in Hebrew, hitchhikers, freeloaders, come and sit on your back, such as self-ego, pride, haughtiness, boastfulness, gava, that it's not in place, will come and become a hitchhikers, freeloaders, sitting on your back on the way that you run to make the mitzvah, to do the mitzvah, לעשות, to perform רצון אביך שבשמיים. Because those trampistim, those freeloaders will slow you down. This is an extra, unnecessary, unwanted weight sitting on your back, slowing you down from fulfilling the mitzvah. Come Yehuda Ben Teima and says, I need you to run like a tzvi, remembering two things. There are predators behind you. Run as fast as you can away from them. At the same time, keep your head backwards. And remember to make sure that all those unwanted passengers will not sit on your back and dwell on you, because they will slow you down on the way to fulfill the mitzvah. And finally, Gibor Ka'ari, as we said before, what's his gevurah? What's his mightiness? Maybe there are stronger animals there than the lion. Yes, he is the king, but what's the what? The fact that he sleeps 18 to 20 hours out of the 24-hour cycle. What's the gevurah? Is this the gevurah that Yehuda Ben Teima demand? That I should sleep? That I should nap most of the 24 hours? Is the Gibor Ka'ari לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים? But the answer is yes. To sleep. To be able to sleep. And not stam sleep. To sleep peacefully. Yehuda Ben Teima comes and says, I want you to be able to sleep peacefully, as they say, sleeping like a baby, napping as a toddler, even though and despite of it all. And I will explain. As we read every morning the Parashat Akedah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem comes to Avraham Avinu and he says to him, Avraham, Avraham, Vayomer Hineni. Vayomer, קח נא את בנך, את יחידך, אשר אהבת את יצחק, ולך לך אל ארץ המוריה, אל הר המוריה, והעלהו שם לעולה, על אחד ההרים אשר אומר אליך. Please, Avraham, take your son, your only son, the one whom you love, Yitzchak, and go to the land of Moriah, and there bring him up as a burnt offering on one of the mountains which I will tell you. Hashem asks Avraham, I want you to take the one and only son you have, the one whom you love, the one that you got close to the age of 100 years old, and bring him as an offering to me. And Avraham can have a lot of questions. Where are all the promises, God? What happened to the promise? Ki legoy gadol asimcha, ki I will multiply you to multiple nations. You're taking my only son that I love, that I waited 99 years to have, and you're asking me now to bring him as an offering to kill him. What happened to all your promises? But the very next pasuk says, Vayashkem Avraham baboker. And Avraham rose early in the morning. Do you know why he rose early in the morning? Because he slept like a baby the night before. Abraham, who knows that he has to take tomorrow morning the son, the only son, the one whom he loves most, at Yitzchak, that he waited 99 years to have, and he's the only one to continue the dynasty, and tomorrow morning he has to bring him as an offering to God, a complete offering, nothing remaining. He's sleeping like a baby the night before, peacefully. Why? Because you have to be full of koach and energy in the morning to be able to perform לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים. And this is what Yehuda Ben Teima comes and says. After the leopard and the eagle and the tzvi, the deer, I need you to be able to sleep. Yes. Gevura shel ari, the mightiness of a lion, is to be able to sleep, because no one is about to attack the lion. So he sleeps like a baby. Come and says Yehuda Ben Teima, I need you to be able to sleep like a baby, knowing that despite overall, despite the fact that you are half pig, and there are plenty of wars on the upcoming day for you, you know that you are on the war path, but for one purpose, לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים. Despite of it all, and the entire drama that is awaiting you, that awaits you when you wake up, the night before, sleep like a baby. And this is what he says. The Yehudi should come and say, I understand that I'm the byproduct of an unwanted, maybe undesirable encounter between Yetzer Hara and Yetzer Tov. I am both. I am a mamzer, half a pig, and half a son of a king. And it happened, this mifgash, this encounter between the chazir, the boar, the wild pig, and the lioness happened because the aryeh, when God, so to speak, was sleeping, as we said before. Vayikatz keyashen, God, the aryeh, the lion himself, was asleep. There was hester panim, he turned his eyes the other way. And yes, I do pray, and that is the explanation where this tefillah comes into this Mishnah. I pray already that Sheyibane Beit HaMikdash, may it be the will, God, your will, Sheyibane Beit HaMikdash, and then when Yibane Beit HaMikdash, when Mashiach comes, then Vegar Ze'ev im Keves, the wolf will live together with the sheep. Venamer im Gedir Bats, the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid. Finally, then this mifgash, this encounter, this meeting will be a desired one. Why? Because it will be in the state of umal'a haaretz de'a et Hashem kamayim layam mechasim. The land will be filled with the knowledge of God like the water covering the seabed. And if you notice, the Shulchan Aruch open up with Yehuda Ben Teima describing the war. Namer, tiger, leopard, tzvi, a deer, they cannot live together. They chase after the deer. They want to have him for lunch. So he opens up with the milchama. The Rambam at the end, at its conclusion, described the time of Mashiach. The time where the Geula comes and these encounters will be already a desired one and a normal one. The wolf will lie down with the sheep, and the leopard will lie down next to the kid, because the knowledge of God will fulfill the land like kamayim layam mechasim, like the ocean is full with water, covering the seabed from side to side, so too the world will cover from side to side with the knowledge of God. And this is the peirush of this tefillah. Yehi ratzon milefanecha. I, the Jew, understand now that for now, Father in heaven, this is your ratzon, that I will face every day difficulties, desires, impure visions, and all these things, that it's going to be hard for me to fight, hard for me to win the war. But I pray and ask you, God, Yehi ratzon milefanecha. May this will of yours, of now, that it's so difficult for me, will finally change, and sheyibaneh beit hamikdash bimheira b'yameinu. It will change, and then umala haaretz de'ah et Hashem. Then your ratzon will be already different one. It's not going to be so difficult for me anymore. The lion inside me will overcome the pig that is half of me. And then comes the second part, V'ten chelkeinu betoratecha. What does it mean? V'ten chelkeinu betoratecha. He says, and grant us our portion in your Torah. That later, when we will be at the time of Mashiach, and they will take what you call a total of what I have done in this world, it will be obvious and evident that my chelek, my own personal victory in the Torah, that I have fought the war on my own personal level. In what? In your Torah, in your ratzon. Back then, when your ratzon was that I will overcome the pig side inside me and dominate with the lion side of me, with the fact that I'm a prince at the service of the king, will be Rashum al Shmi, which will be written in the title of it, will be filed under my name. That this is my chelek, this is my own personal victory in your Torah. V'ten chelkei nu betoratecha, in your Torah, God. And now a few words to conclude the shiur about the identity of the Tanakh. Yehuda is from the Shevet of Yehuda. Their symbol is Aryeh, a lion. And Yehuda Ben Teima, his real name, as I promised you to reveal in the beginning of the shiur, the real identification, and his real name is Yehuda Ben Dama. He is one of the 10 martyrs died by the hand of the Caesar of Rome, the Chazir, Yecharsemena Chazir Miyar. Yehuda Ben Teima / Dama. Teima means in Aramaic, as we said before, to say, Teima. There is a saying. Dama is Dmama, silence. And as we see, he says nothing throughout Shas. There is no other places to find something from Yehuda Ben Teima. So how is this Mishnah encapsulate inside the Hu Haya Omer of Yehuda Ben Teima? let's read the story of his last day, actually his last few minutes. From the Midrash אלה אזכרה. אותו היום ערב שבועות היה. The day that he was taken out to be executed by the hand of the Chazir, the pig, the wild pig of the forest, Romi, the Caesar, the Caesar of Rome. Erev Shavuot was the eve of Chag HaShavuot of Matan Torah, the beginning of Shulchan Aruch. Amar Rabbi Yehuda LaKaisar, there's a dialogue goes between him and the Caesar. B'chayecha, I ask you, one last request, says Rabbi Yehuda to him. המתן לי מעט עד שאקיים מצוות עצרת. Give me one more day so I can receive the Torah again ואקדש קידוש של חג השבועות. I can make one more time the קידוש of חג שבועות אשר בחרתנו מכל העמים. כדי לתת שבח להקדוש ברוך הוא שנתן לנו את התורה, so I can praise and glorify the Lord for giving us, to us the Jews, the Torah. אמר לו הקיסר, this חזיר, this boar, the חזיר מיער, says to him, עד מתי, until when you're going to continue believing in the Torah and Elokim? Until when you're going to continue believing in this God of yours that he's asleep for so many years? He forgot about you, doesn't want you anymore. The lion is asleep. He doesn't want the Leviah. He doesn't want the lioness. He doesn't want to become one with you. Amar lo, I still believe in you, in God and in the Torah. Amar lo הקיסר, מה שכרה של תורתך? Tell me, what is the reward of the Torah? אמר לו, עליה אמר דוד המלך עליו השלום. עליה, and the Torah says, מה רב טובך אשר צפנת לרעך. What great, how great and fortunate is the otzar, the treasure that is hidden for those who fear and do the will of God, לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים. אמר לו הקיסר, the Caesar, the Chazir tells them, אין שוטים בעולם כמוכם. There is no more stupid people like you, the Jews, שסבורים ומאמינים שיש עולם נוסף אחר המוות. You believe there is life after death. אמר לו רבי יהודה, אין שוטים בעולם כמוכם. You, חזיר, pig, you are the stupid one, שכופרים באלוקים חיים. You deny the presence of the living God. אוי לך ואוי לבושתך ואוי לחרפתך. Woe to you and to the shame and to the disgrace that you are. כשתראו אותנו in due time, when you will see us עם השם together with God באור החיים. We will be together, the lion will wake up, and we will be one with them. And you, the Chazir, will come in there trying to stick your claws into us once again, but you'll realize that you're way too late. You're not in the place, and you're actually about to pay for it with your life. Because guess what? The lion woke up from his sleep. He heard the roaring of the lioness, and he decided to fulfill his duty. He's not asleep anymore. And he decided to become one and make a true king union between the lion and the lioness. There is no room for chazirim. There is no room and space for pigs in this majestic king union encounter between them. Ve'ata, says to him Rabbi Yehuda Ben Teima / Dama to this Caesar, תשב בשאול תחתית במדרגה תחתונה. You will be עז פנים שכמוך בגיהינום. You will be where you really belong to. As we say, עז פנים לגיהינום. מיד חרה אפו של הקיסר. This is, by the way, a quotation from the Midrash אלה הזכרה. The Caesar got very upset with him, and here is the last one encounter of this Yehuda Ben Teima again with the Chayot, with this safari. ציווה לקשור את שערות ראשו של רבי יהודה, to take Rabbi Yehuda's hair and tie it with the tail of the Caesar, of the Caesar's horse, and drag him throughout the entire streets of Rome. And then after that, excuse me, the graphic and the grotesque description, but this is from the Midrash. ואחר כך חתכו את בשרו איברים איברים. After he dragged him like this, with the ponytail of his head tied to the tail of his horse, of the Caesar's horse, throughout the streets of Rome, he went and he dissected him pieces to pieces. This is who, and he died, al Kiddush Hashem. And as we say, מנשרים כלו מאריות גברו. We say in tfilat, before tfilat musaf of Shabbat, a beautiful, beautiful, when we say Av HaRachamim, Shochen B'Muromim, when who yizkor all those who gave their nafsham al Kiddush Hashem, we says, קהילות הקודש שמסרו נפשם על קדושת השם, הנאהבים והנעימים בחייהם ובמותם לא נפרדו, מנשרים כלו ומאריות גברו. In English, they were beloved and amiable in their lives, and even in their death were not parted from him, from God. They were swifter than eagles and stronger than the lions, to do the will of their maker and the desire of their creator. Who? Those who die on Kiddush Hashem. And one of them is Yehuda Ben Teima. The Dmama, his shtika throughout Shas, his silence, as we explained once in the Shiur of Rabbi Akiva, he's so loud that is actually much bigger than the roaring of the lioness itself when she yearns to be with God. The Dmama, the lions, the silence that come out of Yehuda Ben Teima throughout the entire Talmud when you hear nothing of him is so loud, as we explained once, Yesh kol haba min admama. There's a special sound that comes from the Dmama. And this is the very Yehuda Ben Teima say, this is the biggest say possible from Yehuda Ben Teima. Adame la'elyon. Dama, Dmama, silence. Dam is blood. And to revenge and avenge this blood, v'inkom nikmat dam avadav hashafuch, in Av HaRachamim, before Tfilat Musaf. The dam, the blood of Yehuda Ben Dama, who says Dmama throughout Shas, will be avenged and revenged by God. From who? From the Chazir of Rome, who killed them. This is the Gibor Ka'ari and Kal Kanesher of Yehuda Ben Teima. And he has one Amira, one saying only. La'asot retzon avicha shebashamayim. And this is the Mishnah of Yehuda Ben Teima. Read it once again straight in English, and that will conclude the shi'ur for today. Yehuda Ben Teima Omer. Now you have a complete understanding about everything. Yehuda Ben Teima says, be bold as a leopard, light as an eagle, swift as a deer, and mighty as a lion, to perform the will of your Father in heaven. He used to say, the arrogant is headed for purgatory, but the self-effacing is headed for paradise. May it be your will, God, our God and God of our fathers, that the Holy Temple be rebuilt speedily in our days, and grant us our portion in your Torah, so we will be able to do לעשות רצון אביך שבשמיים. Thank you very much for listening. This shiur, as usual, is dedicated to the beloved memory of my father, Harav Avraham Eliezer ben Harav Yosef Shmuel, and the memory of my beloved Mashpia, Harav Yosef ben Moshe Yehuda of blessed memory. Thank you very much for listening.